Hello friend, you are watching ERMA Coder channel, and in this video we will learn the render and commit in ReactJS. How can we work the render functionality in ReactJS? So what we cover in this video, we will cover these are the points. First one is what is the rendering meaning in React? That is the basic concept of the React DOM manipulation. And second one, when and why React render a component. And third one is the step involved in displaying a component on screen, and why rendering does not allow produce a DOM update, and any skin update in React app happen in three steps. What is the three step? Three step is the trigger, render, and commit. These are the basic thing, and these are the important step to consider our React when we render any component on a browser or a DOM browser, or you can say browser DOM, or you can say virtual DOM in a React application, for a React application like that. So what rendering meaning in React? It means I have removed all these things, like created a simple component inside app, create a h1 app component like that and save it. So what the meaning of rendering? The meaning of rendering or initial rendering is that to create a root. Root, it means the node of the parent component. Parent. What is the meaning of parent div? Parent div in a HTML file of a main index file. So in the main index file, in this div, to render our component in the form of creating root, and create root is inbuilt React DOM to create a node of the connect with parent to child, subchild, like that. So it's create a node in a root div or root parent root. So in a parent root to render our app, and without React strict mode. So apart from that, in this root, what the meaning of root? Root are created in our public folder. Inside public folder, when you see here in index.html, to create a parent div, inside parent div declare the id name with root. So in this id root, to render our function or any component with the help of create root. Create root or created a node, or you can say a tree root, like that. So root, in this root to create a node, and this node are connect or uh, work with app component, like that. And before this declaration, it's compulsory to react.strict mode. It's provide our entire app to identify our error, and something is wrong in your development or in your project or application. So it's provide uh, like a monitor like that. So React strict mode to be considered as when we write anything in a wrong approach or wrong logic. So it's identify and throw error on our console or a browser like that. So, so it means our first point is cover up. What is the rendering meaning in Node? The meaning in Node, it means to create a node of the hierarchy with the help of render method that is inbuilt React inbuilt function in our React library. So second one is when and why React render a component. When state are update, initial is render for one time to execute our entire application inside our app component. So all these code and component are execute for the first time to be render entire with single node, and then to done the other component render on a use for a user interaction or on a React event functionality are using for rendering and re-render our component. What the meaning of re-render? That is the initial render. Its process is initial render. And what the meaning of uh, pre-render? It means when we create a state like name and set name equal to use state. That is state. It's a functional hooks to store our component information to use for the re-rendering like that. So initial is er make coder and final is const event handler equal to as a arrow flag function, and inside arrow function we set name is Atul Tripathi like that, and is created on a button click change initial value like that, and it's created with on click event. Sorry for that. On click. It's done with center. So you just center tag and it's changed with name. So name are using in comp JSX or with HTML. We use curly braces. Inside curly braces to enter your name, that is called a destructuring of the array, like that, and save it and check on your console browser. Sorry. So here is ERMAC coder. That is the initial rendering. What the meaning of initial rendering? So its first time rendering is called initial rendering. So apart from that, when click on the change value, so here have re-render our string and change the value of this uh, name. So when click on this button, so it's changed Atul Tripathi. That is our second uh, value. When we click on this button, so the initial name value have changed with the help of event handler function. So that is called the re-rendering on the browser, or the browser re-rendering process. Nothing but. So the third step is evoke and display a component on screen. It means it's done when we click on this button and changes as per your uh, declaration inside your component, like that. So when we click on this button and change the value, it's called the uh, evoking and display a component on a screen. And in this process, what will happen? So it's very important thing to understand, make understand how can be done this with the help of library, like that. So these concepts are worked in the form of three steps: trigger, render, and commit. When you seen here and a first time, so that is a rendering in an initial basis. And when you click on this button, it means you have trigger of required output. It's done by the user, like you and me and anyone else as a human, or interact with browser or web. So it's done with. So when you click on this button, then they react to make understand what will done and what the user need from us. Apart from that, they react to make understand what the event are evoke, or you can say a call in normal way. So when we click on this button, so React is identify here is one event, and what the mean event is on click. Simple as that. You can use a double on click, and you can change keyword and anything what we want from the uh, output, required output, like that. So here is created the on click event, and on click event are declare event handler, and event handler is set the value and change the initial state. And first time is done because this is the initial value of this state, and when you click on this button and change your initial state and reflect on your browser, so this is called the uh, committing function. Triggering, it means when we click on this button, so you done the first step. So triggering. And second one is the render. And in this function and in this step you can say the React is identify what will done on what we react and what we want from as a user to me, and it searches on our entire application and check the multiple component and string, and then to be executed on your browser and print as a initial value like this. This is functionality is done by the commit step. So last but not the least is called commit. Commit is shows the outcome of the required user input on a browser or a browser DOM, or you can say virtual DOM. And you can use strict mode to find mistake in your component. So I have already discussed, but I have can here React.strict mode is provide the mistake or any issue or error in your development, so it identify and throw on your browser or in your console like here. So that is a very important thing, and thank you to all my viewers. Best wishes to you.